Since its initial detection in South Africa and its subsequent designation by the World Health Organization as a variant of concern, Omicron has been on every country's watch list. In Belize, gene sequencing is yet to identify the presence of this slightly different form of the virus that causes COVID-19. At the Central Medical Laboratory, samples are being collected and tested to determine what strains are present across our population.
The obvious step was to move on to detecting the different variants, as we noticed pretty quickly that globally that COVID-19 was not going to be stagnant. It's going to be dynamic, and it keeps changing still. And so with the coming of the Delta variant, which seemed to be quite alarming, we were supported by the Baylor College of Medicine in implementing the capacity and having the capability to detect that Delta variant via gene sequencing.
Inside the lab, a pair of technicians works in concert to test various samples and record the resulting information into a database. With the use of modern technology, the process is fairly straightforward. Nonetheless, it is a bit lengthy.
We have the wet part of the laboratory and the dry part of the laboratory. The wet part consists of obtaining the sample, extracting the nucleic acid of the virus, testing the virus nucleic material to ensure that there is viability of the viruses in those samples. And also, we also prepare the samples for sequencing. So that's entitled in the wet part of the laboratory aspect of it. Now, when it comes to the dry part, where is basically is the computational part of it, the bioinformatic, to be specific, part of it, and that's where we obtain the analysis of the sequence.
But the scientists at the Central Medical Lab aren't looking solely for this newest variant of concern. While Omicron was first reported to the World Health Organization on November 21st, the reality is that there are several other strains, as many as 14 before it.
I won't say we have been specifically testing for Omicron. The process is such that you sequence the genetic material of the virus, and then that will yield a result of what variant it is, so to speak. And so, from what we have been detecting basically is Delta. Not 100%, but basically 100% is Delta. The others, we're seeing them diminishing quite fast. In fact, we may possibly not be seeing them soon again. But when it comes to the Omicron, this is something that can be picked up as well.
Compared to previous variants of concern, Omicron is believed to be far more contagious, spreading around 70 times faster than any previous variants in the lung airways.
It's a concern for I would say for everyone when it comes to how this pandemic is I won't say transforming, but is going from, it seems to be going from different levels, and so definitely we have been testing for it. Our capabilities, we had the capacity starting in October, and we started testing.
On May 31st, the WHO named the Delta variant. 1 month later, it indicated that the variant was quickly becoming the dominant strain globally. In Belize, its presence is overwhelming.
So far, it's Delta that is predominantly the main variant in the country. Currently, we are sequencing current samples in December, so hopefully we can pick up any variant of concerns. Sequencing is a lengthy procedure. But there is final outcome within 2 weeks, I would say roughly, because of the procedure that we do, preparation of the samples and the analysis part of it.
Next door, at the K.H.M.H Memorial Hospital, the level of preparedness speaks to the presence of Omicron.
We're as ready as we can possibly be. We are operating under the premise that Omicron is here. We have the research has already been done to say how quickly it spreads. The transmissibility is 10 times or more that of the Delta variant. So even if it's a milder illness, if it's a milder strain, and it infects 10 times more people, we still have to look at a surge in hospitalizations. And so that is what we have been doing here at the K.H.M.H. and preparing in the event that we get another surge.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.